Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Always excited to dive in.
Today, we're going to be looking at Farther
Okay.
by Grahame Baker-Smith.
Interesting choice.
Yeah, it's an illustrated book,
Yes, sir.
and it's won some awards.
Oh, wow.
So there must be something special about it, right?
Yeah, for sure. Illustrations are amazing.
Yeah, and so I think our mission today is to kind of get into some of the themes
Huh.
and some of the insights that we can get from Farther.
Sounds good.
And particularly this idea of dreams that get passed down through families.
Definitely. I'm interested in that.
Yeah, and we've got some great research here that gives an overview of the whole book.
Perfect. Let's jump in.
Okay, so the story really focuses on a father and a son.
Right.
And this father is someone who, he lives in this really sturdy house, but he has this really strong desire to fly.
Interesting.
So much so that he actually, he spends all of his time drawing plans
Wow.
and building these flying machines.
He's really committed to this dream.
Yeah, and they describe it as a busy, bossy dream.
Busy, bossy dream.
Yeah, like it's something that's constantly on his mind and
Taking over.
yeah, and he has this unrelenting passion to claim the sky.
So it's not just a passing interest.
No.
This is like his life's mission.
Yeah. And I think because of that, it creates a little bit of distance between him and his son.
Ah, I see. So he's so focused on his dream
Yeah.
that it affects his relationships.
Exactly. And then eventually the father, he goes off to war.
Oh,
And sadly, he never returns.
that's sad.
Yeah, and we don't actually know what happens to him.
This is kind of a mystery.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where I think the title Farther is really interesting.
How so?
Well, obviously it refers to the father, right?
Uh,
But it also has this other meaning of going beyond or being far away.
Ah, I see. So it's like a double meaning.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
fatal.
Yeah. So let's shift our focus to the son now.
Okay.
So as a young boy, the son is fascinated by his father's dream.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't be, right?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, to see your dad building these flying machines.
Yeah, definitely.
But, because the father is so preoccupied, the son sometimes has to wait for his attention.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and then of course when the father disappears,
Right.
the son is left with this feeling of loss.
Of course.
Yeah, and I think it's this loss on multiple levels.
In what way?
Well, obviously the loss of his father,
Yeah.
but also maybe the loss of this shared dream.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, and so the son grows up
Right.
and he eventually comes back to his father's drawings and experiments.
So he's drawn back to it.
Yeah, and it's like he's determined to fulfill his father's dream.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah, and it shows his resilience and this deep connection to his father's memory.
Absolutely.
And eventually, the son actually succeeds in flying.
He achieves what his father couldn't.
Yeah, it's really quite amazing.
It's like he carried on his father's legacy.
Exactly. And then at the very end of the book, we're introduced to the grandson.
Oh, wow. A new generation.
Yeah, and I think his arrival kind of raises this question of, will this dream of flying continue on in the family?
That's a great question.
Yeah, will he be inspired by his grandfather and his father?
It suggests that these passions can really transcend generations.
Exactly. And so I think we see some really key themes here in Farther.
Definitely.
First of all, this idea of dreams and ambition, right?
Right,
The
right.
father's dream was so powerful it drove everything he did.
Yeah, and the son's ambition to fulfill that dream
Yeah.
is just as important.
Exactly. And I think the title Farther really connects to this theme of striving for something more.
Pushing the boundaries.
Yeah. And then there's also this theme of family and relationships.
Totally.
Even though the father was distant at times,
Yeah,
there was still this really strong bond between him and his son.
definitely. And you see that in the son's determination to honor his father's memory.
Exactly. He keeps his father's spirit alive through this dream.
It's beautiful, actually.
Yeah. And it shows how dreams can be a link between family members even when they're apart.
That's a really nice thought.
Yeah, and then of course there's the theme of loss and remembrance.
Right.
The father's disappearance is a huge loss for the son,
Of course.
but the son's actions show how memories can inspire us.
Yeah, they can give us a purpose.
Exactly. And did you notice the poppies in the illustrations?
I did, actually.
Yeah, they're a really powerful symbol of remembrance.
Definitely.
And then finally we have this theme of perseverance and hope.
Right.
The father didn't achieve his dream.
But the son did.
Exactly. And that shows the importance of never giving up.
Of keeping that hope alive.
Yeah, even when things are tough.
Dreams can really give us the strength to keep going.
Absolutely. So let's talk a bit about Grahame Baker-Smith.
Okay, the author and illustrator.
Yes, he's the one who brought this story to life.
And what's interesting is that he was inspired by his own experiences.
Really?
Yeah, both as a son and as a father.
That makes sense.
It adds a really personal touch to the story.
Yeah, and his illustrations are amazing.
They're really unique.
Yeah, he uses this collage technique
Oh, wow.
where he combines drawings and photographs and digital art.
So it's a real mix of media.
Yeah, and the result is these really detailed and dreamlike pictures.
They really capture the atmosphere of the story.
Yeah, and he uses light and shadow really effectively. And there are all these details like wing patterns and bird drawings.
It's all very symbolic.
Yeah, and it's no wonder his illustrations have been praised.
They're definitely something special.
Yeah, and apart from Farther,
Yeah.
Grahame Baker-Smith has illustrated a lot of other books.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like Leon and The Place Between.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, and he was actually nominated for a Kate Greenaway Medal for that one.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, and he's also written and illustrated several other books.
Like what?
Like The Rhythm of the Rain and Wild as the Wind.
Interesting titles.
Yeah, and Winter's Child.
It seems like nature is a big theme in his work.
Definitely. And he's also illustrated some classic books,
Oh, like what?
like The Wind in the Willows.
There's a classic.
Yeah, and Alice's Adventures in Wonderland.
Wow, he's got a really diverse portfolio.
Yeah, he's a very talented artist.
Definitely.
So to wrap up our deep dive into Farther,
Yeah,
I think we've seen some really powerful themes at play.
absolutely.
The power of dreams, the importance of family relationships.
The impact of loss and the significance of perseverance.
Exactly. And ultimately, I think the book shows us how dreams can be passed down through generations.
Yeah, and how they can shape our lives in unexpected ways.
Exactly. So I want to leave you with a final thought.
Okay.
Think about your own family history.
Hmm.
Are there any dreams or passions that have been passed down to you?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah, maybe there's a story there that you haven't fully explored yet.
I like that.
Yeah, and maybe Farther can inspire you to look at your own life
And your own family.
and see those connections in a new light.
That's a great takeaway.
Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into Farther.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time.
See you then.